So the point of diversity, equity, and inclusion, as you often heard, is to wind up with a leadership class that, quote, looks like America. Now, we think you should hire on the basis of merit, but that's kind of an appealing idea. The people who run the country should look like the country. That's not what it's about at all, because no administration has ever looked less like America, just by the numbers, than the Biden administration. It's not about making the administration look like America. It's about discriminating against certain classes of people who don't vote for them, period. And now it's provable. Jeremy Carl at the Claremont Institute just ran the numbers, and this is in the judiciary. He found that out of 97 federal judges confirmed under Joe Biden, total number of white men, 5. 22 are black women. So this is race-based hiring. It's illegal. But it's also not about looking like America. It's about punishing people. And it's also incidentally, or maybe not incidentally, producing nominees for federal judgeships who know nothing about the Constitution, like this person.
Judge on the far end. Tell me what Article 5 of the Constitution does.
Article 5 is not coming to mind at the moment.
Okay. How about Article 2?
Neither is Article 2.
So she doesn't know what's in the Constitution, but she's going to be a federal judge whose job it is to interpret the law against the Constitution. Okay. So degrading. Horace Cooper is the co-chairman of Project 21. He's also a lawyer who knows what's in the Constitution. Horace, thanks so much for coming on. By the way, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even have a successful background in academia, and I knew what those were. So, like, that's pretty bad, right? Why is this not on the front page of the New York Times?
Well, it should have been, Tucker. You know, I actually taught an Article 1 course all about the legislative process at George Mason University. And it's important that people understand what the options, what the authorities, what the powers that our founders granted our Congress, our federal legislature, and we had an entire course focused on that. But George Mason, like other good schools, wants quality graduates. We want talented graduates, and we're interested in seeing to it that the people who leave with a degree are masters of the topic. What we're seeing from the Biden administration, and which is what we're seeing generally from the progressive movement, is this idea that we just need to reshape the judiciary in a way under color. I use that term in a duplicative way. By pretending that we're making the courts look more like America, but the truth of the matter is we're finding people, they aren't talented, they aren't highly skilled, but they know progressive vision just like the back of their hand.
Right, well,
that's
exactly
the ultimate goal of what's happening here. Not excellence. And America suffers, corporations suffers, defendants suffer.
Well, and it's just so unbelievably degrading, I think, for the whole country. It's the opposite of excellence. And I appreciate your saying so. Horace Cooper, great to see you. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we set up this independent judiciary as a way for every American, instead of self-help, which is the nasty way of saying I'm not going to rely on the legal or the justice system, our founders set up this independent judiciary so that we can get people to voluntarily agree to bring their disputes there. I don't want the cardiologist to be chosen by his color. I don't want the pilot to be chosen by his race. And I don't want the judiciary to be chosen that way. We need excellence. And this administration doesn't want that.
Amen. Great to see you tonight. Thank you, Horace.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson Tonight.